The other day when I was out walking, I ended up thinking about the subject of being rescued or saved. And over the years, I've written many articles that look at how someone can have the need to be rescued or saved if their early years were not very nurturing. And when I was thinking about this subject, I ended up thinking about something else. And an article title soon came to mind. And then I ended up writing an article. And the name of the article is, if you were rescued, you wouldn't develop your strength. And this is what I say. If someone is finding it hard to handle life, or a certain area of their life is a challenge, they can have a strong need for another person to come and make it better. They could spend a fair amount of time thinking about what their life would be like if this was to take place. When this happens, they can feel greatly relieved and happy that what they were going through has come to an end. It will be as though they have gone from one reality to another. With that aside, however, what is going on in their life will be seen as being too much for them to handle. If this wasn't the case, they wouldn't have the need for another person to arrive and make everything better. When it comes to how they feel then, they could typically feel hopeless and helpless, and as though they have very little control over their life. They won't be in a very deep hole that they can't get out of, but it will be as though they are. Due to how they experience life, it is not going to be much of a surprise that they will be looking for another person to make it better. Other than this, they will believe that they will just have to tolerate what is going on. Another person could then judge them and say that no one is going to come and save them, but this is unlikely to have much of an impact on them. Ultimately, if they thought that they could save themselves, they would. Now, if another person was to appear and made their life better, it could be as if they have experienced a miracle. What they have wanted for so long will have happened, and now they will finally be able to live a life that is worth living. They will no longer be in a deep hole or have a heavy weight on their shoulders. They will have been liberated. But as time passes, another challenge is likely to arise, and once again, they will need to be saved. What this illustrates is that even if they are saved, this won't mean that they will be fine for the rest of their life. Challenges are part of life, and the only way that they would be fine is if they were continually saved. So they would continue to be dependent on another person to change their life, and they themselves wouldn't change. In other words, they wouldn't truly grow and develop. They would be standing still in many ways. Yet, as they feel hopeless and helpless and unable to change their life, this is not going to enter their mind. Being saved will be seen as their only option, not as something that would undermine their own development. Nonetheless, the truth is that they are not hopeless or helpless, and they do have what it takes to change their life. This is not to say that they will have to do this all by themselves, and not be supported by another person or others. With this in mind, if they were to continually be saved by another and didn't play their part, along with the support of others, they wouldn't develop their own strength. Without realizing it, experiencing life in this way would keep them in a disempowered state. The fact that no one is there to save them, assuming that no one is, will then be a blessing in disguise. What will be essential is for them to gradually connect to their inner power, as this is what will take away their need to be saved. When it comes to why they wouldn't be connected to their power, it is likely to be due to one or a number of traumas that they have experienced. This can relate to trauma that they have experienced as an adult, when they were a child, during their developmental years, their birth, and when they were in their mother's womb. in order for them to deal with this trauma, they may need to reach out for external support. This is something that can be provided with the assistance of a therapist or a healer. So with that said, if you are in a position where you have a strong need to be saved, or you can see that a big part of you has this need, then you will know that if you were to be saved, you would never be able to truly embrace your power, or it would simply delay this from taking place. And perhaps you have already had moments where you have been saved, and then before long you were back at square one. So this simply delayed your own evolution. But of course, until you are able to truly embrace your power, or to start to embrace it, then as I've said, this will seem like it's your only option. That someone out there coming to your rescue and elevating you is the only way for you to move forward, the only way for you to get out of the hole that you may be in. And so this is why it's so important for you to work through the trauma that is inside you, because most likely it is due to one big trauma or a number of traumas, both big and small, that are the reason why you are unable to be in your power. So if you can relate to this, as I usually say, don't suffer in silence, and reach out for the assistance that you need to gradually change your life. Because being supported is not the same as being rescued. It is very different. When someone is trying to rescue you, most likely they won't have good boundaries, but when you are being supported, another person is not going to do what you should be doing for yourself, and they will just help you. So for example, if you needed a table to be moved and you were supported, someone would get on one side and you would get on the other, and you would work together. Versus when it comes to being rescued, another person would move the whole table. So this can be seen as a difference. But the main thing is that you reach out and don't suffer in silence. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.